Alrighty boyos, welcome back once again to another video. How you guys doing, guys? Today I'm going to be answering the question of what element you should have on your weapon. I get a lot of questions pretty much in my live streams, in my comments, on Twitter, everywhere on what kind of element should I put on said weapon. So in today's Fortnite school video, which is the series where I drop some education, I'm going to be telling you guys what element you should put on what weapon. But before we do jump into that, I want to go ahead and make mention, of course, of the Twitter giveaway I got going on right now. The winners will be picked on Christmas, $200 worth of V-Bucks, 20 bucks per winner, 10 winners. The first link in the description, go check that out. But without further ado, let's go and jump into this. So, I get tons of questions all the time on what element should I put on said weapon. And you know, it's gotten to the point where I needed to make a video about it. You know, I had it written down in the notebook. I'm like, you know what, I get this question way too often. I think it's finally time to sit down and just make a video and just answer it once and for all. What element should I put on my weapon? So I'm going to use this as an example. Say I'm live streaming, right? I'm just playing the game normally. Somebody comes into my chat and they ask me, hey Joey, what element should I put on my gravedigger? Now, the element that you put on your gravedigger is entirely opinionated. It does not matter. It will never matter. It will only matter under certain circumstances on which it matters. So let me go and explain myself. So in the early game of the game, that kind of sounds weird, but in the early game of Fortnite Save the World, you could really get by with putting energy on every single weapon that you have. See, the plus side of using energy on a weapon is that it's always going to be effective versus every single type of husk, but it's going to only do 75% of the total damage. Now, in the early game, you're definitely going to be able to get by with this, but recently, you know, that I found with myself is that I'm actually putting certain elements on certain weapons now that I'm in the late game so that I can do 100% of my damage. You know, fire is good against nature. Nature is good against water. Water is good against fire. It's all of those are going to do 100% of damage towards each other. But if you're using energy, it's going to be 75% damage. Well, you know, in the early game, energy, it can get you by just fine. But as you get into the end game where you're fighting a lot of elemental husks, you're doing these 4 times missions where it's like a nature storm, firestorm, water storm, whatever, you know, you're going to need these certain elements. So somebody comes in my chat, they ask me, hey Joey, what should I put on my gravedigger? The gravedigger is an assault rifle. So what do you have on your other assault rifles? Let's say the other 2 assault rifles you have aside from your gravedigger is a wraith and a siegebreaker. Say your siegebreaker has the water element on it and your wraith has the fire element on it. That means that your gravedigger should have the nature element on it because you will have one of each assault rifle, you know, with a different element on it. So you're running a mission and you say, you know, hey, this is a firestorm. Let me use my, I don't know, water siegebreaker or whatever I said, you know, and then I'll have this certain kind of wraith for this kind of storm. And then, you know, I'll have my nature grave for a water storm or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, you want to make sure that you have one of each element on each kind of weapon type. So you want to have 3 assault rifles, one with water, one with nature, one with fire. You want to have 3 shotguns, one with water, one with nature, one with fire. 3 pistols, one with water, one with nature, one with fire. Really, whenever it comes down to answering the question, it all goes down to your schematics. Me personally, I use the Nocturno as my fire weapon. I'm going to use the Gravedigger as my nature weapon, and I'm going to use the Wraith as my water weapon. As far as pistols go, you know, I really like the Last Word. I think I'm going to make the Last Word a fire weapon. I think I'm going to make my Founder's Revolt a water weapon. I think I'm going to make the Judge a nature weapon. So it really goes down to what schematics you have. You know, it's entirely opinionated for you on what you're going to put on it. Fire isn't going to do any better on this weapon than it is on this weapon. Both weapons are going to do 100% of the damage. Really, whenever it comes down to it, whenever you're trying to decide what to put on each weapon, it really comes down to personal preference. Hey, me personally, I like the way that fire looks on the Nocturno, so I want a fire Nocturno. But, you know, nature also looks pretty cool, but, you know, I want nature on my Gravedigger. So it really comes down to personal preference, but you also want to make sure that you have them evenly distributed through each weapon type. So that's kind of how really things work as far as elements go. You just want to make sure that you know, each assault rifle has a different element on it. And, you know, say you got like 6 assault rifles, make sure 2 have fire, 2 have water, 2 have you know, that kind of stuff. So it really goes down to your schematics. It really doesn't matter what weapon you're using or anything like that. It just matters on your schematics. If you already have a water, why would you have 2 waters? If you already have a nature, why would you have 2 natures? If you already have 2 natures, why would you have 3 natures? You want to make sure that you evenly distribute it throughout all of your weapons. So that's pretty much the easiest way that I can answer this question. That's just the way that I have always answered this question in comments and in live streams and stuff like that. And I figured, you know, I hadn't made a video about it as of yet, so I figured that I would do it today. So long story short, use energy in the early game and in the late game as you're adapting to the harder mission types. And make sure you take a long look at your schematics and figure out ahead of time what you want to go with as far as your elements are concerned. But guys, that's pretty much it for me in today's video. I hope this video helped you out, and if it did, please let me know in the comments down below. If you already knew all of this, then why'd you click on the video? Nah, I'm playing with you. But thank you so much for watching. I greatly do appreciate it. Make sure to enter the Twitter giveaway. And thank you guys so much for an awesome birthday yesterday. It really meant a lot. But guys, thank you so much for watching. Make sure you guys suggest videos on Twitter and in the comment section. I would love to hear what you guys got to say. And that's pretty much it for me, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.